This is a group that has the common good as one of the preeminent things that guide their work. Bringing all those people together in a room, giving them space to think about who their networks are, what's most important to the people that they represent, and how we can come together to improve that process, perhaps most importantly, to be sure there's no harm, was one of the most powerful things we could do in 5 days. For me as a professional, I've been in higher education probably for 15 or 20 years. This was the best 5 days of a conference or institute I've ever done.
In August 2015, the Staley School of Leadership Studies hosted its first Leading Change Institute, Ethical Global Partnerships, Learning and Service. Only a month later, the Staley School's Leading Change Institute has already led to new global coalitions, research initiatives, and public outreach efforts, all with the aim of supporting partnerships that embrace human dignity and grow global community. On the final day of the Institute, participants shared their reflections.
I'm Janice Macmillan from the University of Cape Town, South Africa, where I direct a program in global citizenship leading for social justice. Yes. I came to the Institute with the hope that as somebody who lives in the global south and works with students who come from the United States of America, from other global north countries, that I would gain some kind of an insight into what are the different ways in which we can work across very complex and very difficult boundaries. One of the things I was really struck by was the ways in which the Institute set up what I would call a community of practice. So we were all engaged in very difficult, often, conversations over a period of 3 or 4 days without any defensiveness. Everyone was heard, and I think everyone had to hear sometimes quite difficult concepts and conversations, and I was just really struck by the way the whole process was facilitated, designed. We're at the beginning of a really important moment in the field of global service learning, and where honesty and challenges and what we've come to call in this institute courageous conversations have had a place and have been legitimized. And I think that is something that doesn't really happen very often across kind of complex contexts of inequality and power.
I came to the Leading Change Institute at the Staley School of Leadership Studies in Kansas, really to introduce to people the issue of the negative impact of international volunteering in residential care centres around the world. I was really delighted to find that in this space I was working with people who were really willing to engage with the issue on quite a deep level, and who also were very open to offering their support, their networks and their resources to enable me and the network that I represent to move forward in creating change in this area.
We understood that it's not just an exploration of 1 or 2 individuals, but it's a partnership of individuals, institutions, countries, trying to discover how do we learn from each other, give to each other, take from each other, and together hopefully make this place more livable. To me, so I live, despite the jet lag, I live back with so much of hope, so much of confidence. I think it was the beginning of something powerful. It was the beginning of discovering how we can all together learn and make this place better.
And something that I took away was that our community partners are very invested and very passionate about this and want to be engaged even more in the conversation. And not even that we should be engaging them, but that they should have opportunities to engage us and to drive the conversation.
I inherited new resources, friends, insights through this institute that helped me deal with some of the tensions in my work. I have better access now to folks who will make me a better learner and listener to the Global South, as an example.
I think what I'm going to take with me is that, that people are actually working towards change, and people are working together to make sure that there's a positive impact in the communities in which I work.
So I was deeply moved by the reality that this is the kind of institute that was progressive and brave enough to bring together practitioners, higher education professionals, faculty, and community organizations that are working to place students with a lot of populations and people groups. And the special concerns involved in those are something we're all really passionate about. What was special about this institute was that there was space for dialogue, but also very real action steps for what we can do to move important messages forward to the people who need to hear them.
Because the discussions that we've had were not typical of the discussions that we have in ordinary workshops. And the content of what was discussed actually came from the participants themselves. And I thought that to be very unique. Certainly, I think that the people who were invited for this event were remarkable group of individuals, very experienced, very thoughtful, and representing a very broad spectrum of voices, which to me was just fascinating. I think I've learned so much, and whatever little contribution I'll have made in that regard, I'll be very happy and just feel very honored. I really look forward to having this conversation continue and keep in touch with the many wonderful people that I have met.